Hello and welcome to another exciting episode following me, Almost Immortal, as I play all the mods 9 to the sky. In between videos, I created a Supremium sword and gave it mystical enlightenment so that we could get some cognizant dust ready for when we make our awakened Supremium essence. As you see here, we need 4 cognizant dust as well as some of each of the elemental essences to be able to make a Supremium block into an awakened Supremium block. I've also set up a small area here with each of the essences in, ready for that to work. And I've also set up all the pipes and such over here like I did with the infusion altar and connected it to the network with patterns for both the awakened Supremium furnace and awakened Supremium block so that we can make those on demand. The only thing I hadn't done, which I'm going to do now, is added the Supremium furnace here as a filter to go in. On these, I've set the essences to each of these, which are the essence vessels. And then once we get the awakened Supremium essence, I'll add that to this filter here. I also got a start on the ingredients for the star. So I killed the Ender Dragon quite a few times, got the Dragon Egg seeds that we needed, and I've made 18 dimensional seeds. The Withers compasses were made before. The pulsating black hole, I've been making 18 of those in between each of the videos, and I think I've got all of those now. I made a Skulk core just to close off that quest, and then finally I made 18 Oblivion shards once all the Klein Star Omegas were finished. It took a lot of red matter, but now it's done. So we're very, very close to the star. Today, we're facing off against the Chaos Guardian, which is quite exciting. I think it's the most difficult boss in this game, and hopefully we don't die. We probably will, though. But that's okay, we can keep going back and fighting it. Let me show you how we find it. So first of all, I've equipped my jetpack to make us fly faster, and then we need to go to the end. Let's go to where my gem farm was. Then we need to go towards coordinates that are multiples of 10,000. Now that we're nearby, as you can see, there's a bit of land that's just got all these black bits about. And as you can see, the Chaos Guardian's health bars appeared. Should pop up. There we go. Just like the Ender Dragon, it's got these towers where we need to destroy the crystals at the top. What I need to do is set this to blink now so that we can move out of the way, and I've got extra speed upgrades on my armor so we can move around a lot faster. We're going to use these pillars here to hide away from most of its attacks, but we need the Chaos Guardian to attack us so that it can damage these bits, which will make the crystals weak, and then we can destroy them. There we go. We can't destroy them on our own without a Chaos tiered weapon from Draconic Evolution, so instead, we're going to let the dragon do all the work for us. And when that happens, that sound, that's its beam of death, and we need to stay way out of the way of that. You can see my shield was going down, and that's because it was still able to attack me. You got to be a few blocks behind this and hide out of the way. Now it's 2 crystals gone, and we just wait for its beam to stop. and move on to the next one. And then it does a sort of gravity thing to stop your flight working. And it also draws you in, so you end up pulling closer to it. Then it fires out all of these big death balls, and you really don't want to get caught in those. Most of this fight is just staying out of its way and waiting for it to kill each of the crystals at the top. And then once those are gone, you can actually damage it. Eventually, it will send out a bunch of withers, which will come flying after me, and that's where the red guitar will come in handy. The easiest thing to do is just keep circling it when it uses this attack, just to stay out of its way. Step assist is good here because it lets you just move forward and step over the next block. And if you do find yourself about to be hit or taking damage, you can use your blink. Another crystal. I've been at this about 10 minutes, just over, and we're down to 8 crystals. We've not had to face the withers yet, and my shield recharge is very slow, so I'm hoping we don't have to rely on that too much. And here we go. It releases a bunch of withers. The easiest thing to do is just fly around until they catch up to you, and then we use the red guitar just to deal with them all at once. A few of them go. Only 2 left. Nice and easy. Barely took anything off his shields. And then once they're dealt with, it does another attack, which is like the one with the gravity well, except it just moves around in a circle. And the easiest thing to do is blink out of its way, because if it gets you, it takes off first. And then once those are all dealt with, you get your flight back. We're down to 7 crystals, and it's been about 17 minutes. Quite a long fight. At least for the first time before you can get any of the chaos gear. I got very lucky then in that it managed to blast a few of its crystals all at once with one attack, and followed by a laser, so we're down to 2 crystals. And it's been about 19 minutes. Let's see if we can do this without dying. There we go. It took about 23 minutes for me to get all of the crystals done from engaging with the dragon. Now let's see if we can actually do any damage. We do a little bit. That's not too bad. The auto fire certainly helps, and all the damage modules. We've taken off almost half of its first health bar. I think it only has 2. But we'll see. The advanced dislocator is particularly useful for catching up to it. And getting away from it. Just over half an hour and its first health bar's gone. And we're on to our second wither confrontation. when the Chaos Guardian does this attack, which is a continuous stream of those ball things, it's good to stay close because then they can't hit you as easy and you can get around him a lot quicker. When it's all sporadic like this, it's a free-for-all. Run around, blink, try and get out of its way. 35 minutes and he's got half a bar of health left. Quite a long fight, but we're almost there. Almost there. Last stretch. And there it is. That's the Chaos Guardian, and we didn't die once. How good is that? It only took us about 38 minutes. Now, we just need to go down here, where the lightning's striking. We dig down. You can see there's Draconium infused obsidian down here. Get rid of all this, and then you should be able to see there's this Chaos Crystal. And we got 5 Chaos Shards. Now let's see if we can make a Chaos Bee. I'm back at the base, and let's see how we make the Chaos Bees. The first thing I'll do is prepare an area for them. So they'll go here, and we need at least 1 Chaos Shard, I believe. Yep, full shard. And that's what it'll use to flower. So they'll go in here. Let's get some upgrades ready. So we'll need to start with Draconic Bee spawn eggs. Let's get 5 just ready. Let's see if we've got any in here. I've got 5 Draconic Bee eggs. And we're going to turn those into Draconium Bee eggs. Nice and easy craft. A couple of Draconium cores, a couple of Draconium dust, a couple of honey blocks, and a couple of Draconium blocks. I'll turn all 5 of those into the Draconium ones, and then we'll move on to the next step. The next step requires Draconic cores, and we need 2. So that means we need 10 Draconic cores, 5 Dragon Hearts, and 10 Awakened Draconium ingots, as well as 10 Comb blocks and 5 honey blocks, before we can get the Awakened Bee spawn eggs. Now these Draconic cores take Nether Stars, Awakened Draconium ingots, and Wyvern cores. But then I thought I'd look ahead, and it turns out we also need 1 per craft for the Chaos Bee, and we also need 4 of them for the Chaotic Core, which is what we need to make the final craft on the Chaos Bee spawn egg. So that means we need 40 of the Draconic cores for 10 of the Chaotic cores to make 5 of the Chaos Bee spawn eggs. So I've just gone ahead and set a stack of these to craft, and I've done that by putting a timer here and just kept it at 20 ticks so that when it finishes it'll start the next craft. And I'll just leave that while I do other things in the background. What I thought I could do while I wait for that is move on to RF tools and finish off the flight module. The wireless router is an easy one, so I'll just go ahead and make lots of those ready for when we need them. The flight module, though, needs these infused ender pearls, which need dimensional shards, so I'll just set up a quick auto craft for those. The most difficult part about this is going to be the syringe, which we need to use on ghasts. We're going to need 18 of them, so I'll pop them in my dank for now. And then I'll make a gassed spawn egg so that I can pop the egg in a spawner and we can just quickly use those syringes on them. If you remember before, when we did the aerial pearls and the witch vials, we used this here. All I'll do is extend it out a little bit so that we can fit a ghast in there. And then I'll just put a gas spawn egg in there so that we can use it easier. So it was a little bit too small. I ended up just destroying all the glass around it. All we have to do is left click the ghast with these. We need to get the syringe up to a level 100 before we can make one of the flight modules. Let me show you. I tried doing it before when it was only at 10 and it didn't work. So what we'll have to do is just pop those in my inventory and murder all these until they're full. Once they're gone, we'll get rid of the spawner so we stop getting overrun. I don't know exactly how the syringes work, but it seems if I keep tapping, even after I've just killed one with it, it puts it up a little bit more. So, like that. And that went up to 100 just from killing one. There we are. 18 flight modules. Now, looking at the Star Quest, the only thing we're missing is the Mystical Agriculture's Awakened Supremium Furnace. I have got the crafts ready for those, and I should be able to make them on demand. The only limiter is the Awakened Supremium Essence, because we need a Cognizant Dust. I'm not entirely sure I have enough, but we can try. If not, then it's just killing a few more withers or ender dragons with our Mystical Agriculture's Supremium Sword. In the meantime, though, let's go check on our fusion crafting. The draconic cores are nearly done. There's only 8 left to craft from what we've left. So let's have a look at the remaining Star Quest items that we need. There is also Create, which I haven't touched on yet, but I think it's an easy one. We'll have a look at that in a bit. For the meantime, let's see if we can make these Awakened Supremium Furnaces. Let's make one just to see. One thing I forgot to do that made it mess up is add the whitelist for the Awakened Supremium Gemstone and Ingots. Let's cancel that craft, put the items back, and we'll try it again. So we'll craft one, and then we will see. Also forgot to add a lever. There we go. First Awakened Supremium Furnace. Now I'll just add a pipe upgrade and make sure that that can feed back into the network when we need. Now let's see if we can make 17 more. So we're 18 Cognizant Dust off. That's, I think, just 3 withers. Let me do that quickly. I ended up setting up this little area here earlier just for this reason. There we go, that's 6. And that's the 18 we needed. Try that again then. Another thing I forgot to do was add the Supremium block to the top filter going to the altar and the Cognizant Dust to the bottom filter going to the rest. So we can put those in there, and that should work now. There we go, crafting. You've also got to be sure to add the Awakened Supremium block to this one that goes back into the pattern provider. Those seem to be going well, so let's check the Fusion Crafter again. That's all of those done. So our next one is the Awakened Bee spawn egg, and all we're missing is the Awakened Draconium ingots. And while we're waiting for those to finish off now, I should be able to make the Improbable Probability Device. Now, if you remember, I made the nitro batteries a while ago. But because they've got power in them now, but not the full 2 billion that they can hold, it's showing that I don't actually have them. So I think I need to charge them up. Now, I can do that nice and easy just by putting them in my inventory and letting my Flux network deal with it. And I'll also need 18 of these 16 million mega storage units. I'll leave these to charge in my inventory to the side, and the awakened bee spawn eggs are finished. So let's have a look at the Chaos Bee spawn eggs. So I think the only thing we're missing is 5 of these small chaos fragments and 10 chaotic cores. We're going to need 5 of these large chaos fragments to make 1 chaotic core, so it looks like we're going to need 10 to make 1 of the Chaos Bee spawn eggs. We do get 9 large chaos fragments for each 1 of these Chaos Shards, and then we also need some of the small ones, which are those. So let's see how many of these we can make. I think we said we needed 10, and we can make 12. We should be fine to make all 5 of the Chaos Bee spawn eggs then. Again, like the others, I'll leave those to make the chaotic core, and we'll check on everything else. It looks like the furnaces are done, and the only thing we're missing to make the Philosopher's Fuel is the rainbow furnace. So I'll set up an on-demand craft for that. The rainbow furnace is rainbow plating surrounding a rainbow core. The plating is 1 of each of the different furnaces that you can get. And the rainbow core is 1 of each different coloured glass, as well as a netherite furnace on either side. And there we go, that's the rainbow furnace set up. Let's see if we can make one. We'll need 18 of them. Brilliant. Oh, and they took like a second. I've also set the Aeternalis fuel blocks, so we can make the Philosopher's Fuel when they're done. I'll keep swapping out the nitro batteries as they charge up. Let's go back to the Fusion Crafter and see how that's got on. And there's our 10 chaotic cores. I forgot one crucial component in this craft, and that is we need to upgrade our crafting injectors to chaotic, which is this here. To do that, we need the large chaos fragments, and we need 4 of them. Now, unfortunately, I have already used a lot of them to be able to get the chaotic cores. So it looks like we're going to have to kill the Chaos Guardian again. If I had have been clever about it, and if you're watching before you tackle this, we could have created all the injectors, which would have took, I think, 40 of these large chaos fragments, which is about 5 of the chaos shards, just under. And then we would have had just enough left over for 1 of the bees to be able to have that go ahead and make as much of the chaos fragments as we needed. Unfortunately, I didn't think ahead, and I rushed and decided to just try it. Hey ho, I'll go ahead and kill the Chaos Guardian again, and I will come back once I've done that with enough Chaos Shards. Before I do that though, I've just made 18 of the Philosopher's Fuel, getting us yet another ingredient for the star. I think I'll wait until all the nitro batteries are done, and then I'll go tackle the Chaos Guardian. I beat the Chaos Guardian again. That wasn't too difficult. Picking up where we left off, we need diamonds, large chaos fragments, and dragon eggs to upgrade the injectors to the chaotic tier. Take a couple of these. We'll get the first 2 done. I'll upgrade all of these to chaotic, and then we'll have a look at making the spawn eggs. That's them upgraded to chaotic, and then now just pop the bee eggs in here, and this will make the Chaos Bee spawn eggs. And we've still got 4 small chaos fragments and a chaos shard left over. There we go. Chaos Bee spawn eggs. Now the last thing to do would be to add the genes to them, make them very productive, and then we can add them to the hive and let them produce some chaos fragments for us passively. The Chaos Bees have got all the genes we want, and they're in the hive. Now the easy way to see if this works is use the time in a bottle. Look at that. Check this. Chaos Cone block, we've already got 1200 in there. 1700. Well, that's good, isn't it? And we're slowly getting chaos fragments. What I will do is, same as always, pop them in a drawer and then upgrade them. So if we have a quick look at the star quests, we've done almost everything now. I also set an autocraft for both the end exchanger and the wireless universal terminal, so we've got 18 of each of those waiting. We've got 18 wireless routers waiting, and I think the only thing we're missing is the mechanical arm from Create. As for the Dragon Soul, the only thing we need is the chaotic energy controllers and chaotic cores, because I've already put some Piglich heart blocks in the network, which I got from the Drigme farm. I think we might also need some dragon scales, so I'll have to deal with the Ender Dragon as well. I ended up tackling the Ender Dragon a few more times, so I've got some dragon scales in my network now. I've also made all of the chaotic energy controllers I'll need, and the only thing I'm missing now is the chaotic core. I've got a few of these being made here, but I don't have enough large chaos fragments to finish off the amount that I need. And my bee farm is a little bit backed up, so I'm just going to let that catch up. I've expanded the centrifuges, as you can see there, so they should clear off soon. The only things left to do now are get the Nexium Emitter, which I need the mechanical arm for from Create, and the Dragon Soul. And then that's it. After that, we can get the star, and we can work towards the Starry Bee, which shouldn't be too difficult since we've been getting 18 of everything anyway. I think that is a good place to leave it. We've beat the Chaos Guardian twice because I'm silly and didn't prepare. We've got most of the items together for the star, and we're almost there. If you stayed with me until now, I really appreciate it. I hope you've had a great time. See you next time.